We're not dead.
Yet. 1 second.
Son.
Hello, welcome to the show.
The Guru are being tamed. He'll be back in a minute.
Oh, difficult job.
Yeah.
Very difficult.
All the things we have to talk about today.
Oof.
Oh.
Heavy session.
Sorry, babe.
It's okay, Schnookums?
Not you.
The Guru learned to pick locks and picked my lock at a very inopportune moment.
Oh, interesting.
So they got a dart and they have a dot and larceny now, right?
At least one.
1 dot.
Good for
Sure.
them,
Yeah.
putting that
right.
experience to good use.
Yeah, now, here at the RPG table, we love to give people experience. Why? Because they deserve it.
It's true.
No, it's because we're gonna do stupid shit with that experience.
That's
This is
also true.
This tracks 145%. And I didn't realize how small I really was. Yes, so that completely and utterly tracks, and yes, I approve as storyteller. I'm sorry. I'm gonna sit here and drink my thing.
So, kicking off the day.
Oh God.
What did we open up with?
Uh,
Oh, that's right.
We
Not
finished
wood.
up. We finished up the session from last week.
correct. And then we did goals.
Yes, we did because I couldn't brain this week. I'm gonna admit that, 110%.
You know, if I remember correctly, a certain friend of ours was supposed to keep you on track of that for the goals, and said that they would be your secretary, I believe.
I didn't do it.
I don't remember who was supposed to be that. I slept since then. Let's
Wasn't
put it
me.
this way. I had my heat in my apartment fixed, then I had to get my car fixed, then I had to get my brother's car fixed, then I had to get my car fixed again. By Friday, I was completely and utterly brain dead.
That's fair.
So
We finished up last week, which consisted of finishing up some chat with Gwen.
new 30 years of the future, Gwen.
Right.
Not
Gwen
present. Gwen in future.
Gwen Alpha.
Yeah, sure.
Right. Right.
Not
Gwen Alpha.
Prime.
Right. That our Gwen's Gwen Prime.
Yes.
Right. Yeah, okay. So there was a finishing up of that conversation.
Took her to my house. So she
Took
could
her to
get
your
rest.
house. I can't even remember.
For my part, I was sitting. All I did was take her home, and then that was the end of the night for me.
Yeah.
I don't know about everyone else.
I did some goal related stuff that night, but that was it.
Morgan went to his house.
Yeah, Morgan got a new house.
Sure
kind of
did!
on the outskirts.
I couldn't have planned that better myself. I'm sorry. Well fucking done, my man. Well.
I mean, in his
fucking done.
defense, he didn't really know.
Oh, no. I'm
Well,
not
and there wasn't a
complaining.
way for me to know.
Yeah,
so.
exactly.
I didn't realize he was getting a house in the in New Lenox. I honestly had no idea until he's like, "Oh, Morgan bought a house. Here it is." And I went, "Oh shit. Okay."
Well, and I tried to, you had a really busy week. So, like I said
No.
before, hey, he's going to be buying a Haven. You know, we need to talk about where it's at. And then that just kind of fell by the wayside.
Right.
And so I was like,
Absolutely. And you know what? I find it wonderful, great, and fantastic you took that initiative. I applaud you on that, my man. And I think right where you put it was, mwah. I couldn't have,
Right next to Guru territory.
you know, it's when you want that plot to just land into your hands so you go, oh my God, I could totally play with this. Thank you.
That was the entirety of yesterday.
Yeah.
Not
basically.
wrong.
So, yes, Morgan got a house. Not really sure what Amelia was doing that night. I think she might have also gone home and went to bed.
I think we all went home and went to bed.
Yeah. So, following week, I do believe that Morgan had gone over to Olivia's house to have a discussion with Gwen
What?
Alpha.
yeah, and Olivia both, trying to kind of troll for information, trying to, because he knows that there's a lot that he doesn't know, and so he's trying to seek out people who will and try to figure out what's going on.
Right.
He was trying to convince her to write down useful information that she wasn't keen on giving us, and then telling us when we could have that information. And Olivia kind of backpedaled at this point. I was taking random notes, but I checked up on my sire and let him know he could come stay at my place.
Well, and then Olivia says that Frank can't be tracked. And so Morgan kind of takes that as a challenge and goes, oh, really? What's his number? And so there's some underhanded stuff where Morgan gets his number just in time to get a satellite feed of what appears to be some small squad tactics involved in hunting Frank down. So he's like, oh, this is bad.
Did the mages roll really high on that?
Yes, they did.
Okay. I figured, because since he had the amulet on, I was like, oh, they must have rolled real good.
Oh, yeah. Well, they were doing data correspondence.
Gotcha.
So what they were doing is they were actually using satellite feeds to triangulate on the GPS signals.
So mundane reasons.
Oh, well, oh no, it was completely and utterly magic. It's correspondence data. But at the same time, they're using also triangulation with correspondence itself as a sphere. So it was using both sides of the sphere at once.
That's nice. I think that's dope.
It is. Mage is dope.
Nice.
And so, of course, they're able to get a satellite feed. Morgan sees, oh dear, Frank is in trouble.
Shit.
Yeah. So Frank had stopped by Frank before leaving had asked Gabe to make him something for a mission he was doing for William. Gabe grudgingly agreed, started that, and then Frank left off. Now, where Frank was originally going, not really sure, but something inside Frank pulled him to a certain location.
It was his gut.
Deus Ex
guts.
storyteller.
Deus Ex, storyteller's whim. Maybe a little bit of player whim too.
Oh, it was totally player whim.
Yeah.
Storyteller just kind of made sure he gently found that whim.
So where he wound up going was Artemis's super secret house. And as he was making his way there, he noticed there was quite a few unsavory characters making some patrols. This had him on high alert. Now, this is kind of important because during these conversations that we've had with Gwen, we sort of learned that something happens with Artemis, something about unlocking her mind and Amelia holding the key to Artemis's mind and such and such and such and such. We know from a conversation with Amelia and Artemis that Artemis was supposedly leaving town. So when Frank arrives at Artemis's place, he's kind of like, what's going on? There's like people doing patrols. Like, we should probably get you out of here.
Not wrong.
And that's kind of when hell started breaking loose a little bit.
Thereabouts, because we went back to we went back to D. Ridden and Olivia. We went back to Morgan and Olivia because they were talking more to future Gwen about all this stuff and trying to get even more information while he was triangulating what was going on.
Right.
That conversation.
Well, and one thing that I don't think any of the other players saw that was going on in the background is Morgan was then texting his mage herd / ally group going, hey, can we use that telephone number as an anchor for a port and get him out of there? And they're like, stand by.
And
so
well, the main problem was they had to work around the amulet.
Right.
That was the problem.
Right.
The amulet and the difficulty for the amulet stopped a basic, transportation.
Right. Which, yeah, and no, there's reasons for it later that we'll get into. It's just important to set the stage because that's going to influence some of the behavior later on.
Yeah. Now, I do believe, if I remember correctly, before any of this call to the mages even happened, the A-bombs pretty much started coming after Frank and Artemis.
He shredded.
So what had happened
Oh, God.
is before the triangulation happened, Frank had gotten to Artemis' house, and he saw the patrol. From there, they had their conversation in her house, and he's like, maybe we should get out the back way. And she goes, yeah, sure. By the way, there's lightsabers in the basement if you need them. Lightsabers, you say? I'm all about lightsabers. She then went up and texted Amelia a little bit more, came down. That's when Morgan triangulated with his friends where they were.
Just in time to see 2 A-bombs coming for the front door and 2 looping around to the back. And he's like, oh, that's a maneuver.
Yeah.
And then, go on. Sorry.
And so then Morgan texts everybody right as Amelia calls everybody. And Amelia's like, hey, we need to get to my sister's house, right as Morgan's like, hey, Frank's in trouble.
Then as we're heading out the fucking door, somebody becomes an imprint in the snow.
That's
Morgan
because
loses his temper because this person that he's been trying to be nice to, trying to be polite to, trying to work with, admits that they've deliberately withheld information that is now putting an ally's life at risk.
God, that's right. You did a stupid.
Yeah.
So Morgan tried his mind whammy thing, and it didn't work, and part of his brain got rewritten. So now he has been told that it is that future Gwen is Ella and is Gwen's twin sister.
Right. So before I think everybody even leaves, a certain gentleman in a taxi cab shows up at Artemis's place.
That's right.
And this gentleman gets out of the car, saunters up, makes real quick work of those A-bombs just with like a flick of the wrist. And Frank being Frank, God rest his soul, decides, I'm gonna fight this guy.
Yeah.
when you're gonna try and hit a motherfucker with another motherfucker with no motherfucker in between you and that motherfucker.
Like I said, he's smart, but not smart.
He is book smart.
He's book smart.
However, not smart in the other ways.
Attempts to stake this gentleman. The stake shatters upon impact, and the man reroutes all of the shattered pieces of the stake directly back at Frank.
They identified him as Kane somewhere in this mix, right?
Yes.
Until later.
No, Artemis had turned around and saw him
Because Artemis was seeing this
Okay.
and called William.
Yeah.
while Frank was trying to delay it, and she went to William and said, it's Kane. And he goes, oh, don't start playing with me. And the moment she says Dark Father, he knows exactly what she means. Artemis is a Nodist. She believes in the Book of Nod and the Church of Nod very adamantly, but she's very quiet about it. The funny part is that William really never took to it, but he knew the lessons and everything. So the moment she said that, he realized who she was actually speaking about. And then, well, I'll let you continue.
So Frank gets murked and supposedly turns into Ash in the Snow. While Artemis, still on the call with William, winds up getting knocked out and carried out of the house and thrown into the back of the taxi cab along with, I believe he said 5 others or 4 others.
4, I think.
425.
4 to 5 others in the back of this car.
It's hard to get a head count, yeah.
And Kane makes a statement of, well, there's 1 more down, 9 to go.
Mm-hmm.
So that's fun.
Yeah, and Morgan seeing all of this
Right.
on the feed is what causes him to kind of flip his shit and actually try to mind whammy somebody that he wouldn't normally mind whammy.
Correct.
Olivia
And-
sees this and loses her bat shit and goes, Morgan, get in the goddamn truck.
Meanwhile, Amelia. So this is when Amelia calls everybody.
Yeah.
Amelia's like, "We need to go." Gabe, in the middle of this ritual, is like, "No," and Amelia's like, "William wants you there," and Gabe's like, "Well, fuck, I guess I have to now."
Because
So Gabe
William
also
had called.
goes.
Yeah, because William called Amelia saying get
Right.
to Artemis's name.
Yeah. Amelia was texting. Olivia was making stupid phone calls.
So
Yeah.
everybody starts making their way there. William arrives first, sees the ashes in the snow, sees the body imprints, sees the phone hanging on the floor in Artemis's place, finds the amulet that Frank had. No sign of Frank, no sign of Artemis, just Artemis's suitcase. And then Amelia shows up. And Amelia also does a quick look around. And the two of them start talking as William explains what he heard on the phone to her. Then Gabe shows up. Gabe also does a look around, finds the amulet, does a little bit of spirit's touch to see what had happened here. And about at that time, Morgan and Olivia also pull up.
Sadly.
On the way, Morgan's like, hey, why is my special group not talking to me? Like, what's going on? What's with the delay?
Oh, and I
And
called
they don't
Gwen
answer
Prime.
again.
And you had called Gwen Prime to let her know once
Frank
it was
had
confirmed that Frank was dead, and she was on the bike and got very upset. And there was a quick crashing sound followed by a,
Everyone was
I'm on
very
my way.
Yeah.
Now-
Olivia was promptly super pissed. Gwen
yeah.
was not doing great when she showed up.
Yeah.
Oops.
No. So as everybody's there trying to figure out what happened, trying to take the next step, William makes a decree of nobody goes after him. I can't afford to lose anybody else. To which both, I believe, Amelia and Olivia succeeded.
Yeah.
Morgan failed. Gabe chose to fail. And because she had succeeded, Amelia decides to
Ghost out.
sneak out.
Yeah.
Olivia's kind of like,
That-
you're not my boss. You're out of luck.
Not my bitch, not my circus.
And then William walks out front and screams at the top of his lungs at his sister.
William screams in the snow.
Wait, we've got that. We have that clip.
We do.
Hold on, I'm finding.
Okay.
I thought he was gonna scream "God damn it" for a moment.
Yeah,
Not-
that's what I thought.
that's what I was
I-
waiting for.
I was like, oh, is he? No, he's not. Why?
Yeah.
Why no? Clip reel. Oh, Junie should just start looking at the clip reel and going, oh, this was
Yeah.
done by our good friend Bemmy.
Thank you, Bemmy. So Gabe and Olivia go outside, and we're told basically to track her down using whatever means necessary.
Mm-hmm.
Olivia shifts Tiger. Whoosh.
Yep.
For some reason in my head, it's always like a Sailor Moon-esque transition, like with like sparkles and like.
Wow.
I don't know.
that'll be the
It's just
squirrel.
cooler.
That'll be
I
next
actually-
season.
I
Oh,
like
okay.
that idea though.
Or is this more of like a Transformers kind of thing? Like your head just flips backward into your body and like a tiger head comes out.
I thought it was more Thundercats.
More like a Thundercats type thing.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
fine.
At least that's my head canon is. She goes Thundercats.
So we'll save the Sailor Moon transitions for next season.
Yes.
Yeah, that'll definitely be how the Pukas transform.
Cool. I'll have the song ready to go every time you transform.
That'll be amazing.
So yeah, Olivia shifts, starts sniffing around, has a little bit of trouble getting quite a grasp on her, gets to like her general area. Gabe
invisible. I can't see her.
Gabe initially starts scrying, but then is like, no, I'm not going to try it this way. Tries to do a ritual using what he thought was her true name, finds out it's not her true name, asks William what her true name is. gets it out of William, and then basically teleports himself near to her, near to where also Olivia is, and the two of them,
Gabe.
and the two of them together basically try to talk her into staying.
I think what finally worked was what happens if William goes batshit. Because if she gets murdered, he goes batshit. That's it.
Basically. So after a bit of back and forth, they do convince her to go back. This kind of happened off screen, but I thought it was funny. I had asked Rono if Gabe knows William's true name, which he does not. So Gabe tried the ritual back to William, and then it didn't happen, and Gabe was like, I hate you all.
The way back. Sorry, go ahead.
So that was funny.
On the way back, Olivia has had this nagging in the back of her head because I knew Alexandrov he was in the area when I called him the first time and gave him the address. So I call home because I don't have a phone number for him or this new Gwen. And Alexandrov answers, and I ask, did you see a redhead when you came in? He goes, yeah, I staked her. She's on the couch. I'm finding that holding the phone away from my ear and cussing randomly is becoming a trademark here.
Yeah. I
Not
think that's
wrong.
like your signature style now.
It's like, just leave her that way until I get back.
So
I
next,
don't want to know what happens.
It's one of those.
Go ahead.
Oh, go ahead.
Oh, for next season, hopefully the Puka will do creative swearing, so we'll hear, "Oh, sugar covered candy drops," or "lollipop liquor knackers," or some stupid candy kind of related things. Because I'm here for that.
Oh,
I'm gonna have to write those down.
Okay, that's not a problem.
The Nos and the squirrel are gonna have issues.
What do you mean?
The Nos is gonna be like, grabs a whiteboard, starts writing down all swear words. This is that. Say that.
Listen here, not my sugar coat candy gumdrop buttons.
No, it's a shit-eating motherfucker. All right.
Like I said, purple bubblegum popsicles.
Little communication problems there.
Listen here, you cherry
Next season's
cola
gonna be so
slushy.
fucked up.
It's gonna be so fucked up. I can't wait. So I think the last thing that we kind of ended on was Morgan finally hearing back from his special team.
They asked some questions.
You got some
Yes,
answers.
they did.
They got some answers.
Yes, you
The
did.
funny part is that so when you're storytelling and everyone's wanting to turn around and say things to you, and it's a whole wall of text, and you can't keep up with that shit.
Oh yeah, and I imagine you were getting a wall because I know that you and I were messaging. I'm sure so were you and Rono and you and Amelia. And so if everybody's messaging,
Everyone's
you
like,
at
"Oh my
once,
god, I
it's
want to do
crazy.
this. I want to do this. I want this." I'm like, "I love you
Yeah.
all. I want you to do all the things to be special, amazing snowflakes, but I can't do all of this."
Yeah.
Then it was the Rono and Nerdy going back and forth in public chat while I'm handling all the other private stuff, and I'm going, "I missed your guys' stuff. I'm so sorry."
Yeah.
I would like
And
to
honestly,
know-
that's as a player, that's what I assumed was going on. That's why he didn't make a bigger deal of it with the special group, because it's like, hey,
Well-
this is time sensitive. It's been 15 minutes. I need a yes or no answer here.
Well, okay, so, and I will say this, because I missed the message, and actually I was able to handle the, because I missed the messages, and because of what was going on in the scene, I was able to make rolls that not only helped with the amulet, but also at the same time, when you're talking about mages, depending on what spheres they're good at, time kind of really doesn't matter. Time's irrelevant. However,
Right. But Morgan doesn't get that yet.
Right.
So
Right.
he's used to the human business perspective where it's like, hey, if this is urgent, I need an update in 15 minutes. Even if that update is just, hey, I'm still working on it, I'll update you in 15 minutes. Like, there's
Right.
got to be that line of communication.
right, and then for a time mage, it's like, what's 15 minutes?
Right.
Right.
Exactly.
Let
So
me
there
do
was
my
a lot.
work. I'll
There
come
was
back to you and I'll tell you. So,
a lot to unpack from yesterday.
so
a
how
lot
do you all
happened.
feel? How are you doing?
Oh, good.
Do you guys need hugs and snuggles? And you're muted.
I'm
Tenor.
good. You're muted, Tenari.
Yeah, Tenor.
Sorry. I was saying, I think someone needs kudos for throwing something out of left field at you. I think he threw it out of left field at himself, too, but...
You're not wrong. You're not wrong. Mm-mm. Not wrong at all on this one. But I have to say, it was fun. It kept me on my toes yesterday. And you know what? I enjoy when people are like, hey, I want to throw this arc out there. Let's see how everyone reacts. And as everyone's reacting, you know, you see the whole playing field of where everyone's mind is at the moment and how they're trying to turn around and handle it. Which I thought was really cool.
Yeah.
Regarding those questions, there is a link in chat that kind of outlines some of the result.
In which chat?
In the Twitch channel chat.
It's a YouTube link.
Yeah.
Oh. Gotcha.
Though all I have to say is, holy shit. I can only imagine what I've got to pull up with for next week.
Yeah, it should be fun.
Yeah, that's...
Yeah. So, just some, like, quick player thoughts. I said this yesterday, kind of, and I guess I didn't mean it, like, in a bad way, but I am glad that there was finally consequences for Frank's foolishness. But obviously player character death is always like a touchy
It
subject.
sucks. It
You know.
sucks.
Well, there's going to be consequences whether there's death or not. I think it's safe to say that.
There's consequences. That's fine.
They will be permanent consequences.
I also find it super duper hilarious that Morgan is trying to get all this information out of Gwen, because, like, from Gabe's perspective, the less he knows, the better. Like, so I think it's funny as a player to, like, see the complete opposites in the way that they handle the Gwen coming from 30 years in the future. Yeah. Like,
well, and that's goes back to the human business perspective, right? You can't make good decisions without good information, So, like, one of the top priorities is going to be, hey, let's get the best information we can get and use that to make the best decisions that we can make.
Right. Meanwhile, Gabe's like, oh no, I ain't touching that self-fulfilling prophecy bullshit. Like, so it's sort of an interesting way to look at it. And then there's Olivia, who's like, oh, there's another Gwen.
Great.
Yeah.
Yeah. Great.
Whereas-
Just add that to the stack of problems.
Right.
And Morgan's kind of going, wait, no, Primogen sounds pretty good. Is there a self-fulfilling prophecy that I can find here? Like, that sounds dope.
But while Morgan was learning about boons, Gwen gave him the key to becoming Primogen. And that was, if he wants to do that, he has to learn boons, because somebody may or may not be using boons to become Primogen.
Josh?
30 years in the future.
Oh,
Yeah.
30 years in the future. Okay. Whole different mess.
It's from
Which
what
actually ties back to...
from what I can gather, though, nothing is set in stone.
This is
Of
true.
course.
And I think that's why I'm having Gabe be like very much like, I don't want to talk to 30 years Gwen. I don't want to look at her. The less interaction I have, the better. Because the second Gabe knows something,
He's gone.
yeah, it's gone. So
The funny thing is that and when Gwen looked at Gabe when she first came back, she's like, I haven't seen you in 30 years.
and that alone is enough for Gabe to be like, nope.
I done.
Yep.
Did Gwen see Gabe yesterday?
No, Gwen never. Wait, regular Gwen?
Regular Gwen
Yeah.
saw him, but
Yeah.
Gwen Prime did not.
She never left my house.
Right. Prime.
No, so Prime
I
would
even
be
see regular
current
Gwen?
timeline.
Yeah, Gwen.
Yeah.
Gwen saw Gabe.
That's right. She pulled up when we were outside, like right as I had
Yeah.
walked out after Amelia.
Right.
Well, when
It's
it's a
in passing.
week, right? So plus or minus a week, not a big deal,
Yeah.
Right.
right? So you've just got to stop seeing Gwen at all, Gabe.
I mean, that's fair, but that's also he's not going to stop seeing present Gwen.
Mm-hmm.
It's just 30 years in the future Gwen he doesn't want to see. So.
And the thing is that with present Gwen and what Gwen is doing, it's really not impacting the timeline. It's like a normal timeline. But when Gwen says, "I haven't seen you in 30 years," something will happen that they'll stop seeing each other. But right now, it's still progressing to that
Right.
point.
And Gwen, in 30 years from the future, Gwen also made it a point during the conversation earlier with Olivia and Morgan because they had asked her, did you know this was going to happen to Frank? And she said, well, I didn't know it was this timeline. Like, so that in of itself speaks to the fact that there are different realities depending on the time. Like,
That's
So-
where
Right.
Olivia got pissed with her.
yeah.
She
Well,
doesn't know.
but that's totally fair to her. Think about it. If there are infinite possibilities
Oh, yeah,
of things
yeah.
that could happen, how could she possibly know it was this one? Like, I mean,
But Olivia's not on logic mode right now. Not even
yeah,
close.
that's true.
Well,
And
and there's two ways you can play that. One is you err on the side of not saying anything ever, and you let whatever's going to happen. And the other is you talk often and early, and you divulge things that are important that could happen.
Mm-hmm.
That's true.
You
But
know,
I've seen
so-
enough time fuckery movies to know that, you know.
I think the best reference for last
But we
year,
have a
I think the best reference was, have you seen Doctor Who? That was the best reference
Yeah.
yesterday in session.
Yeah, that's true.
We also have a sadistic enough storyteller that if you just immediately play into don't make all these mistakes, you will actually be making a mistake.
Yeah, no,
because, you know.
exactly. Exactly, which is why Gabe doesn't want to know anything, because anything that he hears, he will influence the decisions that he makes. So he doesn't want to hear anything. Whether he does something about it or not could change everything.
Right. Well, but the point I was making is that in and of itself could be a storyteller trap.
Right.
You know, so
You never know. You never know, right?
So where are we looking at going on? Where are we going from here? Is I think where we're supposed to go next.
So I know I said I wasn't gonna have a lot of goals. I did think of one goal that Gabe would be interested in, which is he's going to do some research into the other kindred that are no longer there, their connection to Artemis, and what exactly Kane might be using them for.
That's dope.
So that's Gabe's focus for the next week.
Please stop stabbing yourself, Tanari. We love you.
I didn't know I had a paper cut there. Normally that doesn't work with these. Okay,
I don't know what you're showing me. I see just a
knitting needles. They're knitting needles.
Oh, okay.
So in Zoom chat, there is a picture of where Morgan will be going next to have a conversation.
A white room?
Yeah.
He's got some interesting goals that I'm not sure he should divulge to the audience yet.
That's actually
No
a pretty
spoilers.
decent white room.
Right.
Not gonna lie.
You know, and you know, if you think about it, you've been in conflict, you wake up in that place, you know.
You panic.
My inner Toreador is screaming out color. It needs more fucking color.
Which is going to be another entertaining thing. Like, I don't know. I think that we should, like, steer away from too much more conversation just so that there's not spoilers for next week. But we've got some interesting things planned. They'll be highly entertaining, I think. Be sure to tune in.
Do we get to tell
Saturday.
him that we at least have a guest star?
Yeah.
We've
Okay.
got a guest
We could go
star.
over my goals too. My goals ain't changing jack.
Okay, well, that's fair. So we are getting a guest star next week. Yay!
You get Demi.
He's a good friend from the B. Dave Walter server that you played Artemis's husband, known as Darren. He was known for C4 and lots of explosives. He's not
Okay, I
playing
have to
Darren.
clarify. You said Darren, not D written, because that
Darren.
did not really make much difference there. Okay.
Darren, sorry. He played Darren the Malkavian. Yeah. And so he's coming in, and he's not playing Malkavian nor Darren. He's playing somebody completely different that he has brought up specifically for this chronicle. He met the cast last night. Everyone said yes as a guest star, and so he's coming in next week.
Yay.
He has to wake up at 6 a.m. for this. This will be delightful.
So
sorry,
Olivia's goals are I have to start by sitting Alexandrov down and having a chat about the house rules, because clearly I forgot something.
You forgot to tell him that we don't stake people in your house.
Yeah, I forgot to tell him anything.
Actually,
about the house.
it was always don't eat anyone. Nothing about staking anyone.
I said don't. When Morgan and Frank were having their little get at each other, there was don't stake people in my house again.
This is fair.
Okay, but that was
Oh,
just
okay.
for that.
I was gonna say, yeah, you've never told Gabe not to stake anybody in your house.
Yeah?
Or to, do horrific rituals with their screaming
Well,
body.
clearly we need to add don't stake people in my house to the rules list.
There's just like one. It's like one of those like home and garden wooden boards with like the hand painted sign that's like rule
Yes.
1, don't eat people. Rule 2, don't stake people. Room 3, live, laugh, love. Like
Rule 4, don't, hack their arms and legs off and arrange them into a pentagram for a demonic summoning.
Roll 5.
You do that in the yard.
Animals are people too. I totally see that one.
And then
Yeah.
I think what we're gonna do, because
Now-
pissed is a thing, I'm gonna ask Alexandrov to help me take Gwen up to her room and leave her there, staked, and call William and ask what he thinks I should do, because that's probably the safest thing to leave her at right now.
Well, and one of the things Morgan will be doing that I can tell people about is that he'll be talking to William, letting him know what because actually we skipped something. So, before Olivia left to go look for Amelia, she met Gwen when Gwen pulled up and told Gwen Prime what Gwen Alpha had done to Morgan in a place where Morgan could see the conversation.
Yeah.
So Morgan knows that he's been mind whammied again. He knows, as far as he's aware, she's holding out information that could have potentially prevented this attack. He's going to be going to William going, hey, I need you to unfuck my mind, and then we need to go pump this person for information and maybe have a little snacky snack.
And William's gears are already turning, because he stopped Gwen and said, if she had information, why didn't she give it to us?
And present Gwen did not have that information.
No.
Right.
But future Gwen, as present Gwen was saying, is it could have been the different timeline. It could have been something else. I don't know.
it could be that Gwen 30 years in the future has a whole lot more idea of like how her time abilities work, and
Well, not only
Yeah.
that, but
Or a
also,
whole lot had less humanity and is just, willing
which is
to
also
sacrifice
true.
people.
Which is
Well-
also
Oh,
true.
that's a good
Well,
possible.
also, Gwen came for a specific reason to
Right.
see William and Amelia as she had just seen them killed, and had a lot more of a higher agenda than Frank.
That's true. And who knows? A lot could happen in 30 years.
Yeah.
Maybe Frank would have fucked us all.
Or maybe now Frank will fuck you all as Frank
Yeah,
Part
that's true.
2.0 or
That's true.
Frank 3.0.
1.5.
Or maybe he's going to replace Jean-Claude. God, I hope not.
Oh my god.
Uh,
That's an idea!
I
No,
like
no, no,
Jean-Claude. No.
Frank needs to replace William. So you've got Frank and Jean-Claude in the same body.
you know Gabe's not gonna let that happen, right?
That's going to end bad. I don't want to see Frank and Jean-Claude locked in the same room, let alone the same head.
I kind
Yeah.
of do.
I don't.
Okay.
That would be. I would think that would actually make Frank like probably even
Homicidal?
more. No, I was gonna say suicidal. Like
Yeah.
I don't see Jean-Claude and Frank like
Coexisting.
coexisting. Yeah,
Actually, you could do Frank and Jean-Claude in one body, and
and then William.
William and Willie in another.
I still think it's going to end in a dead Jean-Claude.
Sounds like a plan. Let's do it.
Or it could be a dead Frank. I mean, Tremere can be pretty sneaky.
Yeah.
Yes, but Frank's the kind that would be going homicidal. And then he'd go, how do I kill this guy?
But all it
And
would
then he's
take
only one-
all it would take would be for Jean-Claude to do some fucky Tremere shit.
Well, yeah, I'm just saying. Frank's the kind of guy that would go, if there's only one way to kill him, I'm going to kill him.
This is true, but Jean-Claude would also say, hey, I know some Tremere shit, and I'm going to out-Tremere the True Bruja and bitch my body now.
That would be the most fucked up roll-off I've ever seen, I swear.
Why do you think I, like, as a Tremere, never tried to, like, ritual fuck with Frank as True Bruja? Because I didn't want to have to deal with that roll-off. Like...
Yeah.
Because the moment you try doing that ritual...
He's gonna pop that Klothos. Yep.
And then
that's why I never did it. I always tried to find other ways around it, because...
The moment he pops Klothos, if you don't have celerity, you're fucked.
Which I don't have celerity.
Because Klothos and celerity 5 would have just been, okay, we're trying to outdo each other in moves, and you're stuck in this endless cycle of how many moves can I put in the tank to try and beat you.
Yeah. It sort of sucks. Gabe's lost his business partner, his housemate, his protective blanket, like...
Well, you still have Agrippa, which comes to the other goal Olivia's got to fulfill this week.
I didn't forget about Agrippa.
Yeah, I'm calling to see if Agrippa knows anything about Cain.
Well, with the loss of Frank, Agrippa is a nice, warm, cuddle, snuggle buddy for you.
I was gonna say, because I don't think it was ever talked about with the loss of Frank, did I feel anything with that?
I think you felt something. If you had an attachment to him as a friend or something, it wouldn't have been like, oh my God, I'm gonna weep and my heart's breaking and excuse me, I'm gonna go into mourning. But you're like, well, that sucks. I miss him. You know, you have that lingering feeling.
Let me re-clarify the question. Would Agrippa have felt anything with Sybil?
Yes.
Okay.
I just wasn't able to get that out in the midst of all the clusterfuck that was happening.
So, I'll have to type that to you.
Because...
Would Agrippa know anything about Cain?
You want me to ask her?
That would be what the phone call was about, yeah.
You're going to have that phone call. That'll be fun. Just think of it this way. A Horcrux had died.
I don't know what that means.
Harry Potter.
I still don't know what that means.
So
Okay.
if the Horcrux died...
It released some of her spirit back into the world.
Right.
God damn it.
So that... Let me just clarify, because this is the question that I was going to ask.
Yeah, go ahead.
When Morgan did his weird thing, was it while Sybil was still in Frank's body? Therefore, would
No.
Agrippa still sense Sybil in here? Okay. That clears up a lot of things.
Because now you've got part of Sybil's shadow free in the world.
Okay.
Undestroyed.
That's unfortunate.
I didn't do it! He didn't think about that when he decided to die. I can't help it.
You know, I should have just fire hugged him. It would have been fine. Would have been better.
I asked him 4 times last Sunday, are you sure? I asked him Saturday just before we started. I said, are you sure? He said yes.
Uh-huh.
You know,
I was just asking for a teleport.
I'm sorry. Unfortunately, our wires are crossed right now. Please check your number and dial again at a later time.
No.
I think it'll be fun to see how this plays out, honestly.
Next week's going to be a hell of a shock zone, folks.
Yeah. How many more sessions are we looking at, Junie?
I'm looking at, if Junie looks at her calendar, she can be slightly a little bit more precise and saying just instead of a couple more, Hi, calendars. I love them. We are on 16. I got 1. We're probably looking at maybe 2 more.
Okay.
Damn.
It's I always like to know because I like to know how much I can fuck it up between now and then. That's always good to know.
Depending on if I can get if I can get Abel in on the 6th.
Okay.
If not, maybe 2 or 3 more. It depends on between Nerdy and Gabe's schedules.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
I have to work and plot around schedules, so sorry guys.
No, that's okay. Did Frank pass off any goals for William, or is he playing those close to the
Oh
chest?
shit, we still gotta find his will.
He's playing it close to the chest, and the
Yeah.
will be able to be found at the beginning of next session.
Cool.
Okay. So I don't think anyone bothered to look, though I suppose that would be Gabe that finds it, not...
Well, I don't
Yeah.
think we had time.
Yeah,
in the
we didn't
session.
go back to
No.
the house. We kind of cut scene at Art's place for the most part.
We cut scene after Morgan's mage team reported back to him about the asset.
Yeah,
Right.
which was a hella timing, by the way.
Which all I
Yeah.
have to say is that once everyone finds out about the asset, how pissed off are they really gonna be?
I don't think it's gonna change my behavior with Gwen.
That's fine.
On a scale of like 1 to 10, Gabe's not going to be pissed off at all. He's probably going to be more like not really understanding why, but also like
Why?
kind of like why.
My employees are overachievers. You know,
I think
it's that profit share kicking in.
I don't-
They're
but I don't
oh,
think-
boss wants this. Let's do
Gabe's
it.
not going to be angry about it. He's just going to be like, but why?
Olivia's kind of at this place where
And I can't.
the rage that kicked up when he died was actually fueled by the anger based on having information kept back and being lied to. That's kicked up in the past so far for Olivia.
Oh, no,
Being
that's
lied
fair.
to is a bad trigger.
And in Gwen's defense, you can't really lie when you don't know that if you're in the right time period
yeah.
or in the right time stream for that matter. And for her, when I'm sure we'll explain this next week, for her it's more the fact of I had larger problems to deal
Bigger
with.
fish to fry.
Exactly.
Greater priorities, yeah.
Which is going to make a lot more sense given what happened with the mages. It's like, oh,
But
you know,
right
this-
now, she's
you know?
staying, and that's fine.
She's staying that way for a while.
Yeah, but and you know, it's like
Or you
logically,
think she's staying that way for a while.
logically as the player, I see, you know, she's being sensible. I get it. But as Morgan, I'm sick of this shit, and I'm going to try and do something about it because
Yeah.
this sucks.
I like seeing Baby Vamp get angry and try to flex. It's nice.
I like
It's
it.
nice. It's nice because let me correct that. It's nice because he can flex.
I like you
He
said
just has to go about it the right way.
I like how he said, I've lost every contested role so far, so
Mhm.
I am turning around and playing on my terms and where I can actually make an influence.
Yeah.
That, right there, in itself, is how you play vampire.
He's so Ventru. Like
Oh,
it's just
1,000%.
you do such a good job at Ventru.
Thanks.
And he's starting next season at advantage because he kicked in this early.
if he survives.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah. We'll see. Isn't
Yeah,
that
you
what it's
got
all
them
about?
shit.
If we survive.
Yeah.
So
Or, at the end of this season, I'm going to be more than happy to offer to Britton if he wants to continue playing Morgan, or if he wants to turn around and make a new character to add into or tie into the Morgan storyline.
I'll have to think about that. Not gonna lie, it is kind of tempting to start with advantage so that I can actually win contested roles now and then.
yeah.
That's fair.
So I think that yesterday was kind of a crazy day, but I'm sure the rest of the season's going to be kind of crazy too. Really looking forward to having Bemi on with us next week. I think it'll be a lot of
Yes.
fun. That's all I've got.
Same. I think we're.
Well, and yeah, honestly, actually, there is one goal that I can tell you all about that I think fits very much that you'll appreciate. And that is, Morgan knows about boons now. So he's going to try to farm the current situation for as many boons from as many people as he can, just as kind of a first foray into this new currency.
That's fair.
Good luck. I wish you the best of luck, sir.
Well, I mean, Gabe, would you like a chance to say goodbye? I might be able to arrange something that you can.
No, that's fine.
All right.
Just a player's FYI, maybe don't approach Olivia like that.
Oh, of course not. No, you've got to know your audience.
Yeah.
Hey, let me shoot myself in the foot.
What would you give to have him back?
Yeah, there you go. That one will work better.
That is good because for several reasons, because that plays to certain things. Use that instead of to say goodbye.
Okay.
Like that, just because I think that's, if you want to boon that badly, you gotta give something, you know?
All right.
Yeah.
Chance to say goodbye. I mean, Gabe can write goodbye on a note and throw it to the sea, you know, like that's his goodbye. He could get closure however he needs.
Well,
but
okay,
if you're actually offering,
last conversation.
Mm-hmm.
Actual, you know, and then from there it'd be like, okay, well, what if we could get him back?
Bring him back long enough to go, where the hell did you leave the SARS?
and also just, oh, Gabe knows where the SARS is. That's fine.
But that
The
doesn't
SARS
mean
are
that
fine.
Olivia wouldn't do this.
Oh, Olivia doesn't care where the SARS
Oh, that's
is.
valid.
Olivia needs to know where those SARS are.
Normally, I wouldn't think Olivia's first question would have been, "Where's the SARS?"
No.
Right.
No.
But and that might be something like and so there's this internal calculation that's going to be going, okay, what can I do without overplaying my hand
Yeah.
and without pissing people off to kill them, because I am I'm going to do this anyway, right?
Right.
This is and this is these people friends, and I'm kind of friends with them, and blah 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 blah, right? So I don't want to overdo it, but I also I also need to kind of explore these situations because this seems to be how things are done in this sphere, and I need to play on an equal footing.
I think what it's going to come down to, you know, knowing how close we are to the actual end of season, though, is what are the priorities? Like, I think that's also something that if you're going to try to play that, like, keep that in mind, too. Because there's, like, two major things going on right now.
Right.
That obviously, like, demand better attention, but...
Right. And I'm thinking that the way that they handled things and the way that you guys are handling stuff now and trying to balance it all, I think it's very, very interesting, very, very cool. Plus, when I threw in that a little bit of extra in there, I didn't realize how you guys are going to react. Now, mind you, I am trying to put all of your guys' mental health and sanity on the line. But at the same time, I'm making sure you guys aren't all freaking out about stuff. Like, I'm going to turn around and become this big TK monster, which I'm not. But making sure that you guys are still having the fun that you guys want.
I don't think you'll become a TPK monster.
I try not to be.
It's just fun to imagine we all die every week. It's okay.
I mean, not wrong.
Already dead.
Well, okay, you know what I mean. Like, die.
Are we dying or dying?
Die.
Die.
Okay, see, right now I'm getting flashbacks to when one of my children, with the oldest, was about 1.5, and he would say "Bye, Elmo," but his B's sounded like D's.
Die, Elmo. I love it.
Die.
Every single episode, yeah.
Nice. Well, on that note, if that's everything that everybody's got, I think that's going to clear up this session. Can't wait to see how next week goes. Can't wait to see the finale. So looking forward to that.
I am terribly afraid for all of you. May you guys all rest well and take care and have fun on that session because, oh dear God.
You gonna get Puka that session?
The Puka might be showing up either that session or the session afterwards.
Okay.
Nice.
So we'll find out. Yay! All right, guys. I don't have anyone to host or raid at this moment, so we're just gonna end it here. Guys, all have a great one. We will see you next Saturday. Any final thoughts from anyone?
Nope.
No.
It's just going to be
good.
fun.
Okay. Remember, you always have a place at the table, and we will see you all next Saturday. Bye!